Alright, so I'm going for a Valkyr build. When I try this out today, what's going to do good? See, either too many people that were online, or someone during a time when it wasn't good, um, to actually run it. So I don't have like high-powered frames. I'm not that type of streamer, but yeah, my frames are good now. Upload speed is good, so no worries there. Going full Valkyr. Probably do this video for about 2 hours, and then I'll stop it from there. Let's continue on doing regular missions for about another hour before I jump onto Horizon Zero Dawn. If the frames are still up, by the time I play Horizon Zero Dawn, I'll be good. Um, Upload speed is still running. I'll do that directly after. Probably jump off for a while, but then I'll jump back on. Probably around 12 or 1 o'clock, because where I am right now is 12. Where I am right now is actually 9 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock. So I'll do this for about 2 or 3 hours. 2 hours then broadcast, and then 1 hour by myself. I just want to see how far she could go. Maybe not even that. Maybe just 1 hour for broadcast of Valkyr, and then 2 hours for myself. So I'll see how far she'll go. But before that, I need to kick certain people from my clan. I'll do that probably offline. For right now, I'll just switch out. Um, let's see, Valkyr. We'll see how she goes. Can't even get Arfix Venom to come. So, yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, man. Proxima was supposed to come out this month. Alright, so I'm done with talking to people in the chat. Let me get back to the build. Alright, so if you want to do a Valkyr build, I'll get into Horizon Zero Dawn later. I wanted to do it before, but I'm not going to do it right now. Actually, I have something very good. I'm interested in doing a Street Fighter, um, like an anniversary collection in the Tekken. I'm pretty good with the certain Tekken characters. I'm pretty good with certain Street Fighter characters. And I came across a very interesting type of game. And I think I'll add Street Fighter and Tekken towards my gaming. I don't want it all to be RPG games or MMO games. I gotta throw in a little bit of fighter every now and again. So what I'll do is I play RPG games and mobile games, and not mobile games but RPG games and story-based games, and I'll throw in a little a little side thing on the side for fighting games. So I'll throw in maybe a Tekken and a Street Fighter in there, but that's as far as it'll go. It won't go to a Mortal Kombat level. It won't go to a Dragon Ball Z. I just throwing those two in because I'm somewhat interested in those worlds. Um, and I've been playing those since I was a kid, more than I've been playing the Mortal Kombat and Dragon Ball. So I'll just continue the legacy of what I've already known and I've been used to. But for right now, let's get into Valkyr. This is Valkyr. What you want for Valkyr, if you want a 175 efficiency. If you're doing long runs with Valkyr, you want a 175 efficiency. In order to have a 175 efficiency, you need fleeting expertise and streamline. Now, the bad part about this is if you want a 175 efficiency, you'll have to take off some power strength, or you have to take something off. And if what I was trying to do is I was trying to give her more armor. Now, if you put the armor on, you get more armor. Without the armor on, the armor by itself won't give you the amount of armor you needed. But I was trying to see how I could monopoly on getting more armor. See, if I give her the regular steel fiber, she has way more armor. But if I put Umber Vitality and Umber armor on, okay, I'll test it right now. I put the two Umbers on with the Vitality and this, you notice the difference between just the fibers by itself, and you get a bit more armor with both these mod together, working in unison together. And you also get benefits that come with two Umbers being together as a set. So it's not just you get extra armor, you get a TA set of 13.8 connectivity with the standard 135 armor, so they boost each other towards their survivability. So what I need is Umbra Forma to make these two slots Umbra for her. And the problem with the Umbras, they take up way too damn much capacity, but they're so good for giving you a lot more strength and a lot more armor. Now you could go without the Umbras, but Umbras are pretty much in the game for boosting capabilities. People say they don't really need it because it just make you only last for a couple more waves in the mission, and then that's it. And it's because those people don't know how to play using the Umbras. It can make you go for a hell of a lot more than the extra 5 waves. It can make you go for a good 10 waves if you know how to use a Warframe well, using the regular capabilities of the Warframe, and up to from anywhere from 5 to 10 waves using the Umbra. Beyond that, it's not really that good. It's just set in there to make you boost past strong level enemies. That's you're at wave 30 in the mission by yourself. Survival. The enemy levels will go from 60 to 80 at that point. And then once you get to wave 45 or wave 50, you start fighting levels 80 to 100 enemies. At that point, you will need like a boost of an Umbra on to get you past those level 100 enemies and survive a little bit longer to do those extra 5 waves or to do those extra 10 waves. Now when people say, well, that's nothing if it just lets you do an extra 5 waves. The point of you doing those extra 5 waves is so that once you do those 5 waves, when you get to bosses that are stronger than level 100s, you could tank those bullets, tank those bosses, and it'll be done and over. People who don't like Umbra are mostly people who are dependent on playing solo by themselves. And they realize if they play solo by themselves, the Umbra really isn't useful because they die quicker when you're doing any mission by yourself, and so the Umbra doesn't help you. Umbra seems to be more like something set for yourself to survive in a group of people who have Umbras on, where you can go through survival missions much longer rather than you using the Umbras by yourself. Now you don't need it when you're playing solo. You go to a certain point, defeat all bosses and our enemies in the game with just the standard mods. But if you're doing long survival runs, then that's something to have everything on your Warframe mostly Umbras. People will disagree with it. There are people who don't do long survival runs. They expect everything in the game to be set to a certain point in survivability, and long runs are basically pointless and not necessarily for the actual functionality of the game. But endgame is dependent on who you are. Fashion frame, long survival runs, being able to take down each boss easy, or spend a lot of your points reviving every time you get taken down because you don't have the Umber on or the right modifications. I understand certain people do the mechanics, or they won't need to have the Umbers because they just switch back and forth with what Warframe works best for them. The whole point of Umbra is that if, let's say, you don't have a lot of different Warframes and you only can invest in one or two, the Umbers come as a very handy thing to have, so you put on those one or two Warframes, so that when you're in the group, you can use it far better and last much longer in the mission and acquire certain specific items that you could only get at those high level in rotation C or beyond rotation C. On Warframe, things are based in drop chances, based on how much you do damage, how much damage you take, and how long you're able to run the mission without using a certain amount of fuel revivability. Now, if you die too many times, the mission is obviously going to give you less of a reward. If you do less damage, the mission is going to give you less of a reward. If you do more damage, the mission is going to give you a certain reward. If you take more damage, the mission is going to factor that in too. People say it's just random RNG. That's not true. If it was just a random RNG, everyone would get the majority of the same product all the time. But they don't. Most of the times when you run a mission by yourself on solo and you do high damage with a weapon, you take most of the damage most of the time, but you also do a lot of damage most of the time. And you will always get the better reward from that mission because you've soloed it. When you're in a party, like in a group, that's a basically different thing because now the game itself, the AI, is trying to factor in how to balance your stats with everyone else's stats, who have the highest damage, who takes the most damage, and then through the RNG of factoring all of these together, then you get a specific reward based on those stats. So that's what that is. When people say, well, it doesn't really matter for you to go long runs if everything in the game is RNG, and you don't need to be in a solo group to acquire such items or to take down such bosses. But to be honest with you, if you factor in the armors with replacement for other mods, like even if you take more damage or if you're dealing more damage out, these benefits, these these factors in here, these umbers, are calculated within the system itself. And the amount of damage you take and the amount of time it'll take for you to die from an enemy is also factored in. If the armor gives you a little bit more boost for your survivability, then that's also factored in. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to log on and play Warframe instead of playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now. Not only because I need to upload speed, is working good right now, and it wasn't working when I booted up Horizon Zero Dawn. I decided that this is a good time to speak on how to proper mod using efficiency and strength on the Warframe. Now I did that for the Frost, but I also didn't really test how it works in an energy draining Warframe. How to use mods for an energy draining Warframe. Frost was just like, you have to conserve energy, but how can you survive against enemy if your energy is draining consistently? But at the same time, I didn't just want to do a video on energy draining Warframe, how to build an energy tank Warframe, but also how to work efficiently with an energy draining tank Warframe. So the best way to tank it out right now is to get armors and put it on. Not really necessary. You could use the steel fibers or just vitality, and you will still get somewhat of a similar effect. However, without the armors on, it lowers the armor rate. Without vitality on, it lowers the vitality, health, and so on and so forth. If you just put vitality on, and just steel fibers on, you have an increase in both armor and an increase in health. But Umbras work in cohesion to each other. They will give you a boost stats of both armor and vitality and strength if you connect them all to each other. That little extra strength, health, vitality, or armor will get you up to at least an additional 5 more waves of survival, or 10 more ways depending on the Warframe you're using. That is essential for if you want to, not really for rewards, but if you want to acquire certain items that require you to get beyond, let's say, get beyond rotation C, or for you to continue to do a mission until you get the reward. See, that's what I meant to say. Rotation C enemies are probably the strongest, and where rewards are given for the highest modification of certain things you want from enemies. And rotation Cs are usually anything that's above 30 waves of enemies. After you pass your 30 waves, or 30 waves of survival, or 30 waves of interception, that is considered rotation C. It goes from A, B, C. Rotation A is usually anything from 1 to 10. Rotation B is usually anything from 10 to 25. And rotation C is anything from 25 going on to 35. So it's more like in between 25 and 30. So when you hit 25, once you get past the 20th wave, you're now in rotation C territory. So once you're at wave 21, you're now at once you're at wave 25, you're now at rotation C. So if you stay in the mission for the 30th wave moving forward, you're still in rotation C. Once you go beyond 35 waves, you don't have to play the game anymore to get that reward. You can just rinse and repeat, go back to the beginning, and do it all over again until you reach rotation C. Or, like most people will do who don't like to be annoyed and going from rotation A to B to C again. And this is what the people who don't understand how to use Umbra formulas is. These Umbras are necessary for longer survival. If you're looking for specific rewards and you don't want to do rotation A over and rotation B over just to get the rotation C, you want to stay in that long survival mission for wave 40, wave 45, wave 50. You will need something far stronger than the standard mod capabilities until you get said reward that you want, or said prime part that you want. Some people really don't care. They start the mission over and they'll possibly get in on the RNG. But if you don't want to go through an entire wave 1 all the way to wave 25 again, you will stay in the mission until you get that reward that you will give to you for fighting off enemies. And in order to stay in the mission to survive longer, you require this. And it pains me to see that some people don't understand the benefits of having an Umbra. And that's what that is. So for Valkyr, I'll move forward right now. What you need is streamline and fleeting expertise if you're going for a Valkyr build. And this is for anyone who watches the video and want to set up a Valkyr build if they're interested in this Warframe. So you must have 175 efficiency if you're going to use an energy draining Warframe. You must have 175. If you're going to be using her fourth ability more than just twice in a mission in order for survivability, once you're about to get killed, or even more 5 or 6 times, regardless of how many times it will take. If you feel you're about to die and put on that fourth ability is going to start draining energy for your survival. And you'll require that for you to keep up said strength power of the fourth ability so you don't die. So 175 is required. What's also required for Valkyr is high strength. Her ability to tank bullets is based on her strength. So the stronger you are, just like in D&D, Neverwinter, the higher your power is, the stronger you could tank a dungeon. The higher your power is with Valkyr, the stronger she can tank a level and enemies in that level. And then you do that. So right now my power strength went from 205 to 240. Let me see, I'm not seeing that correctly. 245. Now I want stronger high power strength than that. I need this is the thing with her. I need You need prime flow on because you need a lot of energy. I have 334 energy. So if I take that off right now, let me get it again. Remember where I put it. Alright. So if I take that off right now, it went from a whopping 634 energies to just 225 energy. And this is a maxed out prime flow. You get an additional 275 energy. So that's a huge amount that you will need. What certain people do when they use Valkyr, they wouldn't use this, and that's fine as well. What they will do, they'll just keep this on, and when they pick up an energy pod or an energy pad or just any type of energy from an enemy once it drops, it'll take a while for the drain to take effect, and they'll just throw this on, and then it'll drain through. If you have on an arcane energize, and if you have enough energy pads, because once arcane energize does not work, it gives you additional energy, a 50 chance energy, or whatever it is that arcane energize does. I don't remember its stats anymore. If you ran out of arcane energize and you don't have enough energy at the moment, it runs completely out. Once these two drains all your energy, your 225 energy out, you will need energy pads. And what energy pads, just dropping 100 of a large energy pad will give you an additional 100. So you stand there once, drop in pad, it'll give you a full 100 resupply of energy, and then you wait there for about 10 seconds. It'll give you 10 to 12 seconds. It'll give you an additional 100. Now during that time, while you're standing there, you're tanking bullets, bam, 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 bam. So you might want to figure out shooting and dodging and weaving. And the moment you get that 200, boom, you go back to using your fourth ability and you start killing enemies. So certain people don't like to use the prime flow, because at the beginning when you have prime flow, you have to, once you put it on, you have to give it energy, and once it runs out, you have to refill the energy. And the time to refill the energy takes longer than the time to not refill the energy when they're off. It takes a hell of a lot longer to resupply your energy resupply this mod of energy needed to be high enough to 364. Once these two drains this of all this energy, and you put energy pads at your feet, it will then resupply this 275 with energy. But the time it takes to resupply it with energy will take you a hell of a lot more than 10 seconds. So that's why certain people don't like to put it on. So I'll show you by not using prime flow and just having this and this on. And what I'll do is I'll try to increase my power strength even more by, let's see, blind rage, transient fortitude, these two power mods. And if I put this on, Umbra Intensify, I do not have enough capacity for Umbra Intensify. I only have 7 left out of 74. So what I'll do, I will have to see, but she's based on armor. Her strength and her armor are in cohesion with each other. So if you reduce her strength, reduce her armor, even though your strength here will tank every bullet, the moment it goes off, your survivability is slim, because she's dependent mostly on armor rather than shields. So I don't want to do that, but at the same time I need strength. So you really have to figure out how to mod everything for what you want. So what I'll do is I'll let's see, I'll do this, and I'll take regular I'll take regular let's see, steel fibers, and give her 1000. That's good. And I have a power strength now of 300, but my duration is bad. So I'm gonna see if I could find at least something. Maybe this will work. That gives me 34. Let's try this one. That gives me 40. Now I'm gonna check to see, based on my ability, this Warframe's duration period. See, this is not really that much of a duration Warframe. This is more of any drain Warframe. It does have a duration one, and the duration one is based on her second ability, the Warcry. So this is bad. This is 6 seconds. So basically, once I yell out for Warcry for everyone, it'll only last for a maximum of 6 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's off. So you'll be able to kill maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. Oh, let's just consider 6 enemies. 6 duration, 1 second per enemy. But I know tanky enemies are far stronger than that. So let's say you can kill 3 enemies with 6 seconds duration. That's it. So that's kind of pointless when you're going for an NG build. So it's up to you how you wanna mod her for. What most people do is they will replace this with narrow-minded with this, and they'll place this here. As you see, it's now 112. So let me do it. So now Warcry is a full 16 seconds. That's a huge amount. Because now you can kill up to a good 8 enemies. 8 strong boys, not weaklings. 8 enemies before this runs out. Maybe not even 8, maybe a 7. And that's a 7 or hell, let's say 6. Let's say 6. They're extremely strong, let's say 6. You are now able to kill an additional 3 more enemies than the original 6 seconds. Or if they're really strong. If they're not that strong, you'll be able to kill an additional 8 more enemies. And that's significant if it's based on survivability. And you don't need that much range because she's mostly a close quarters combat Warframe. The only time you will need range is when you want everyone to get the benefit of Warcry. But most of the times they don't need it, so you don't really use Warcry that much. But we want to get back our strength up to 1000, but we put this in its place. So it's up to you how you want to build your Warframe for. I want this on, but I also want armor on. But I also want strength on, so that's the problem. And so what I'll do is, let's test this out. And let's see what we have here. This is simply a test build. Now I got 5. Let's see, what if I just do this. Okay, now I got 6, and I use power drift, which should give me, let's see what it'll give me, 7.5 ability strength. I'm now at 270 strength. Now 300 compared to 270. Let's see what it will say. Now for the 4th ability, and my lifesteal will always be at a 5%. The damage, however, will increase. It says drain is 17.5, which is good. That's very good. 17.5 drain. And that's good. Just to set on the ability itself, not the complete drain per second. That's just the cast ability. It'll take 17 energy to just cast the ability itself and to turn it on. Now, for it to drain per second is 1.5 out of 9.5. Now that's very good. For out of every 10 energy amount, for every out of every 9.45 energy amount, it'll drain only 1.57 out of every 9.42 energy. So it's even less of almost 2 seconds of drain per every 10 energy amount. So that's good. And range isn't that important, and lifesteal will always be at a 5% once you turn the ability on. But the biggie here is the damage. You always want your damage to be above 600 when you're tanking with Valkyr, because some enemies, always want your damage to be above the 500 amount, 5 to 600 amount. So once you go over that 600 amount, you're in the good territory, you're in the solid territory. You don't really need to be at 300 because I'll show you the difference if I put on 300 to 600. Alright, let's see. I'll take this off and put on intensify. Alright, so this is 300. And go here. Now you see that 750. What 750 does, that's an additional 100 and plus damage to the enemy, which is not really that much. It's basically, once it says 600, that means the game is basically telling you it can kill the next level of higher enemies. Let's say you go to Earth, they're higher level enemies. And then you go to Venus, there are next higher level enemies. Then you go to Saturn, there are next higher level enemies. Then you go to Uranus, next higher level enemies. Then you go to Saturn, next higher level enemies. Every time you get to past 100 of power strength, it's a little indicator of what planet level devastation you could do and tank without dying. At level 100, you could defeat Earth easy. At level 200, you could defeat Venus easy. At level 300, you could take down Europa and other lower level planets easy. When you get to Saturn and stuff where they're like level 30 enemies, you will require like level 500, 400 to 500 power strength. And when you get to 600, you could tank level 700s. Basically, consider it like this: 100 means level 1 to 10, and 200 means level 20. That basically level 100 means level 10s, 200 means level 20s, 300 means level 30s, 400 means level 40s, 500 means level 50s, 600 means level 60s, 700 means level 70s, 800 means level 80s, and that's it. And that's how you see it. So I'm at 750. That means I could kill level 70 enemies easy, and have somewhat of a difficulty fighting level 80 enemies. Like 750, so I could kill level 70 enemies easy. Now when it comes to level 80 enemies, it'll take some time for her to kill them because they're at level 70, because my power damage isn't at the 700 marker. So that's a nice way of figuring out how powerful Valkyr needs to be. If it says 700, that means you could tank level 70 enemies easy. If it says 80 and above, she'll have a struggle. Now if you put her power strength to like say 320, boom, she'll go straight to level 80. So she'll be able to kill level 80 enemies easy. And level 80 enemies are, I think, the highest, near to highest level enemies you can fight in the game. As in Swordy. Swordy goes from 40 to 50, and then goes from 60 to 80, and then it goes from 80 to 90, and then it goes from 90 to 100. And when she gets to 800, she could tank anything from 80 to 100 level damage. So she'll be able to beat level 80 to 100 once she's at 800 damage amount. So this is a nice way to figure out how damage works in Warframe based on ability strength. 100 power strength, 100 damage when you look at abilities is actually level 10 to 20. You could take level 10 to 20 down easy. 200, tank level 20 to 30 enemies easy. 300, tank level 30s to 40 easy. 500, 50s to 60 easy. 600, 60s to 70 easy. 700, 70s to 80s easy. And 800s, 80s to 90s to 100s easy. And why I say 100s, I don't think they've made Warframe where a Warframe can go past the, if I remember correctly, 300 damage amount. But then maybe they are. It's just a her damage amount, I believe, if I put it on right now to test it out, to see if I'm correct or not. Let me take off certain mods. Take off. Wait, no, I'll actually need that. Let's try this out. Let's see for ourselves how far it could go. So these are 2 power strength mods. All 3 of these together, fused together, give you benefits, as you can see right there. I'm finding more strength mods. This is power strength as well. I'll have to take one off because I wanted to put on the maxed out power drift. Alright, I'll just take one off. Screw it. I'll put on the maxed out power drift, which also more power. And then, well, imagine that Umber Vitality is on. So this is now at 339. If I put on Umber Vitality, I'll put that on right now. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, shit. Alright, fine. I'll do it this way then. Okay, so this is a 335, and with power drift, you now have an additional 15. So if I add 15 ability strength to 335, that'll be by 350. So I'll have 350. So now we'll look at our strength is now at 837. Now, if I put that extra 15 on, it'll be at 850. So, like I said, you should be able to tank level 80s easy with this. Easy. She'll melt them easy. Even level 90s easy. But when it gets to level 100 enemies, it'll be difficult for her to take them down. Even level 90s will be somewhat difficult. It'll take her a couple of seconds. Maybe up to, I say 3 or 4 seconds to take down level 90 enemies. And then probably about 10 seconds to take down the level 100 enemy. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. In fact, let me correct myself. It'll take 3 seconds to her to take down level 90, and about maybe 6 to 7 seconds to take down level 100 enemy single-handedly. Like if the big boy is really strong and meaty, it'll take her about 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slashes, and she'll die, and he'll die at level 100 with this amount. If you get her to 850, she'll do like 6 to 7. Let's be like generous and give it 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's dead. So with more than 800, it'll take about 6 to 7 slashes towards level 100 enemies. But you don't need that. I say you don't really care about doing an extra 10 seconds. You could take that off and just give yourself 270 or 280 strength, like what I'm going to do now. I'm going to give her back what she had before, just so I can put all the mods on, and then we're going to test her. Give her back her steel fibers. And it'll take me a while to take down to level 100, but it won't take me past 10 seconds. So I'm not worried about that. So I'm back to there. I'm going to put on fleeting expertise and streamline. And I'm not worried about duration, so I'm not going to be using a war cry. Though I want to, but I'm not going to. Oh. Put it back the way it was before. Close it right here. Alright, give myself. Okay, so now I'm at 3. No, it's not it. What the hell? What did I do? Okay, yeah. Alright, so I wasn't wrong. Alright, so you wanted to 175, but because of blind rage, it can't go to 175. See, if I take it off blind rage, it'll automatically go to 175. That's what you want. And if you really want that efficiency, you'll have to figure out a way to put in more modifications to get you up to where you need to get to. That means you need Umbra Vitality, you need Umbra Intensify, and you need Umbra fibers all together to raise this up. Because if you can't raise this up to that 270 marker that I wanted to raise it up to, it'll be a problem. you won't be able to get that 175, and it will require you to depend on prime flow to put here instead of. But we're not going to use prime flow. We're just going to go with this 140 at 300. You know what? Let me see if I can see what my power strength is. 600. All right. I'm going to test this out on level 100. No. Yeah, I'll test it out on level 100. See how we do. And I need that 140 to go away. I'll try this. I'll try without the blind rage. It'll be crappy, but I'll try without blind rage. I'll throw in as much as many strength mods as I can. It won't get to the level I wanted to get it to, but I'll try it without blind rage at a 275 efficiency rating, and we'll see how that goes. I'll see if I could spare some space, because with Streamline, if you notice, with Streamline, you could have it to all the way to 7. It'll be still 175, if you notice that. Take it off, it's a different story. But once you have fleeting expertise and Streamline together, if you have it at 7, just at 7, where's the 7? Let me go back. Once you have it at 7 with fleeting expertise, by itself it won't work. But if you have it Streamline at 7 with fleeting expertise, you'll still get that 175 efficiency. So you don't need this to be all the way up, like fleeting expertise is all the way up. Or you could do the reverse. You could have this all the way up, and you don't have to have your fleeting all the way up. You can have it to less than 2 points from where it is, as long as this all the way up. These two synergize together. For right now, I'm gonna have just this off. Actually, you know what? I have a good idea. I got a good idea. I want to give myself a little bit of duration back. Alright, so there. Alright, now let's see where we are. Since they're synergized together, let's see if 8 works. 8. Yep, still at 75. And now I have an additional 5 capacity, because like you see, 1 slot is missing from this and 1 slot is missing from this, but I still don't take away from my efficiency rating. And I still give myself more capacity, so I have 5, and now I could put something in there. And let's see. Hunter Adrenaline will give me power in the process, but I need strength right now. I don't have it, but it's require a capacity of 11. But if I have this up to 10, I'll be able to get some certain energy. But I got this at 9, so the 9 will work. Boom, there we go. And let's see what my power strength is now. I can now kill up to level 60 to 80 enemies with that 600. So we'll see and go and do a sortie, and we'll see how this works without prime flow on, and just making sure I don't have any pets attached so they won't die. Nothing is attached. Good. And we'll see how this mod test works against bosses and high level missions. This is a sortie, and it's like a daily, and it goes up every 16 hours. And 2 hours have passed already, and I have remaining 14 hours. So every 16 hours, a sortie is placed. And this is level 50 to 60 enemies, like 60 to 80 enemies, and this is level 80 to 100 enemies. So we'll see how she works against this level 80 to 100. So right now it's just a sabotage mission. I could use her. She's not really meant for mobile defense that's required, so I won't use her for the mobile defense one. I just want to see how she works against the boss. So right now I'll just use her in a regular high tank mission. Never use her for defense, just to get that out right now. She's not meant for defense. She's meant to just be a brawler. Just go in, brawl everyone, kill them. Anyone goes down, she revive them, taking all the shots and get everyone up. Her 4th is her ultimate ability, and you can't kill her once it's on, as long as she has energy. So if you don't want to play a Rhino where it's like if the enemy knocks off his armor and they could kill him and you run out of energy to turn it back on quickly and you're screwed. But for Warframes like this, it doesn't matter how much armor she has on, how much shields or health. The moment she turn on her foot, she's immortal. As long as she got energy. So let's see. Right now we'll do smart game, give her some energy to get her up. That's what he's doing. See, he's already down to 400 health for that one shot. But she never had that much anyway. So now we'll turn that on and see, shooting me as much as they can. I ain't doing shit. Because if you notice up in the upper left, upper right corner, it's gone off. The indication has turned gray. My health has turned gray. My shields have turned gray. Because it's using energy to drain it. And you see the energy slowly going down the lower right corner. Now, how many energy that is? That is now, see one energy pad on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I got 200 additional more energy. I'm going. Took me about how many seconds for that energy to go away. This is why you need prime flow.
The reactor is going
even 175
efficiency.
The enemy is strong, and they'll hit you and they'll drain some of your energy while you're using a drain prime flow energy. So you require prime flow. I would just go with flow itself, not prime flow, since that takes a while to supply you with energy. Or if you want to really get things done fast with a 175 efficiency, just bring energy pads.
Fuel cell reinserted. When the reactor is restarted, this will trigger a...
You don't even need no 400 energy pads, you just need up to like 200 energy pads.
Destroy the fuel injectors.
Most people don't like energy draining Warframes, but if you know how to use them,
Get to extraction immediately.
how to use them, they come in handy as a support.
Berteno, this ship is experiencing reduced gravity and magnetic anomalies.
Oh, that damn gravity took away all my energy. Oh, I know what it is. It's not the gravity. It's not the gravity. See, I wonder why my energy is going away so fast. It has nothing to do with the energy and what I'm doing. This is energy drain mission. This is specifically energy drain mission. It has to be. I didn't even look at it. Objective this mission is sabotage, but the default for the mission is drain your energy. So that's the bad part about the mission. It will drain your energy. Kill it, that type of sort. As standard, she would never lose that amount of energy that quickly. Never. It only took like 20 seconds and her energy was gone. So let me check that mission. It had to have been an energy draining mission. Because if I knew that, I wouldn't have brought Valkyr. So we'll wait till this loads. Another thing about Valkyr, she's one of the few Warframes that if you play with her in a PvP match, she will win most of the times. It's only her and 2 other Warframes can really survive in a PvP match against other Warframes that are not like her. Warframes that are pretty much their force can go on and can become gods. Won't survive. I mean, can't survive in a PvP match against her. But if it's not Valkyr, so on and so forth, similar type of frames like her, they won't survive. So I'll do this mission actually. Let's see what it says here. The specifics. But let me leave this party. I need to look at the specifics. Would they even tell me what the specifics were for the mission I just completed? No, it won't tell me. Shit, I should have paid attention to what the conditions were. See, the conditions for this one is enemy physical enhancement. The condition for the last one was probably energy drain. Conditions fire, but it doesn't say energy drain on it. It just says. See, that doesn't make sense to me. Let me see. Am I at 175? I have to be at 175.
I've been thinking, Operator. I thought you'd want to know.
If it wasn't energy drain, then I need the prime flow on. Yeah, it's at 175. So what I'll do is I'll take this off and put on the prime flow, and we'll see how long it takes for the energy to drain out with the prime flow on. Damn it. And power strength. Alright, you know what? I'll remove that. Put that there. I want to keep my power strength. I need my power strength. And yeah, for right now, until I get that umber fibers, there's nothing really I could put here. That's this is 6. This is 6. This is, if I have some, okay, I'll just throw this on for right now. Firewalker. Don't need it on, but I'll just throw it on for right now. All right, so at 225 with prime flow on, let's see what our strength flow will be. 225, 500, so well 50 to 60s enemies easy to take them down, and when I reach the level 60 to 80 enemies, it'll be maybe about 10 seconds to kill them, maybe even 7. So that should be fine. That shouldn't be fine. If it's the level 80s to 100, it'll take a while for her to kill them. And I don't want that. I want it to be anywhere from 5 to 6 seconds to kill enemies. Most single enemies. I should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're dead. So they should be fine. I usually don't bring her in the mobile defense mission. It's not a good idea for this practice. I just want to see if the energy drain is going to work the way I want it to work. Because that was too fast of an energy drain for that mission. And I'm pretty sure there was a energy drain default for that prime mission. It didn't make much sense that it was draining that quickly without the prime flow on. Maybe they changed her default status. Maybe she drains lots of enemy. Oh, I know what it is. See, this is why it's important to understand that Warframe is one of these games you need to speak on. You need to speak about the details. The duration always is also adds towards the amount of drain. Why? Don't ask me. It's not just efficiency; it's duration as well. Son of a bitch. All right, so what I'll do is and the game was paused. I can't just close out of the game itself. I just can't close out of the game itself. I might have to complete this mission or just quit mid-mission. I'll just quit and go back to the mission.
Defense mission. You must deliver payloads.
Can't close out the game itself. If I close out the game itself, I'll lose the broadcast. I'll just have to quit the mission. Yeah, I completely forget that duration with her affects the drain per second as well. See, this is why it's important to understand how each Warframe works. It's not just efficiency with her that drains the amount per second. It's also the duration as well. Yes, this mission failed. Yes. Alright. So I need that narrow minded on. I know it was a reason why I had it on in the first place. I just completely forgot that duration also affects the energy drain per second. Son of a bitch. I didn't know why I didn't remember that, but it wasn't the prime flow. That was a reason why I had the narrow minded on. Completely forgot that. And I'll show you. You'll see it for yourself. See? It's now 0.63 to 3.75. It was originally 1 to -9, but now it went all the way to below 0 to 3. I completely forget that. That's a huge reason why she was draining that much energy. It wasn't because of the lack of prime flow in there. Is that duration does work on this Warframe for duration, efficiency, and power strength. I completely forgot that about her. These 3 things are needed to make a tank killer Valkyr. Lots of duration, lots of efficiency,
Operator,
and
are
lots
you
of strength.
visualizing
I
a
assume
bloody
it was
battle?
just efficiency and strength because it's been a while since I used Valkyr, but it's lots of duration, lots of efficiency, and lots of power strength will make your Valkyr slow draining efficiency Warframe. See, it's still at the point 6.3 to 3.7. Okay, well that's good. That's good. That is good. So that means even if I take this off, let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. See, boom. All right, that's good. That means I get to keep more mod capacity. That's great. So now I have mod capacity of 8. So now I could throw on more power strength. Power strength while still keeping efficiency, and don't have to worry about it draining that much. This time around, get it up to where I needed to get it up to, have additional 4% more of capacity, which I could now throw on the rage to give me a rage. You know, I hate these mods. They really don't do shit. But for right now, I'll just put that on. Maybe I should put on more duration. I wonder how long my work order would be if I put on more duration. I'll do that. That makes more sense. Oh, 8. Alright. Alright. If it says 4 here, that means if you have a mod that says 8, you can put it in the slot. Once you form something and it has a symbol here, if it says 4, that means it will double. Whatever you put there, it could double. If you don't have any symbol right here for the type of school you're going to, if it says 8, it'll be 8. But if you form a slot for a specific school, this is the Madarai school, it says it right here. If you form a slot for that school, it will give you an additional 8 capacity, additional 4 capacity towards the already 4 you have there. So you could throw in an 8 slot into that one. So now let's check this out. It won't change this. This will still stay at a 0.63 to 3.5. That won't change if you give it more duration now. But this will change. You're now at 21 seconds to your war cry. And it says here, Valkyr lets out a feral cry that bolsters your allies' attack speed while slowing down enemies. Now it's up to you whether you want to use this one or give her some range. You can see now if I take this off. You still have a decent amount of duration period, just to give your team just enough. So you could decide if you want to continue that duration next to a Warframe that's close to you and give them more longer duration time, or you can give them range. That's if your mod capacity allow you to have enough range. Let's say if you didn't have Madarai in here, you have Naramon, which is this one. A Naramon slot here, another Naramon slot here. You have 2 of these, and then 1 for range. You could do this. I mean, it's up to you if you want to build your Warframe to support as well as to be a tank. You could do 2 efficiency, 175 is power strength, and then you could put range on and increase that duration just a little bit more. No, it won't allow me to increase a little bit more. Alright, so I'll just have to deal with that. Alright, so you have now 75 range. Let's see what our range is. Warcry range is now 19 meters, almost 20 meters, which is better than what it was before. It was below. So if you want to give it a little bit more boosted towards range, so if someone's not that close to you. It's a little bit further from you. You're able to give them range. And as the power strength, let's see what our power strength is. Our power strength is still decent enough to take out level 50s to level 60s enemies easy. It might take about 7 to 8 seconds to take out level 80s to 100s. It will take more than 10 seconds to take out a level 100 enemy. So if I saw a level 100 bomber stand in front of me, it might take more than 10 slash. It might take 20 slash to take me down with this build. But we'll test it right now. 500. Let's see. Good duration, good efficiency. We'll see how the energy drain
Operator,
does this
you have
time.
remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
System simply testing her strength build. Doing test survival runs against bosses and high level missions. So now we'll do this mobile defense. Try this again. I really don't want to do mobile defense with her by myself. I need to be in a team. Good, there's a team. She's crapping on mobile defense. She's not a defense frame, she's a killer. I think I'm in the good now. I didn't have duration on, that's why I was giving me the problems. Let's see how this does. I'm the only person on in my clan right now. That's fine. Very annoying. Proximo was supposed to. Yep. That's fine. My clan is a maximum of 30 people right now. I have no intention of making it larger than that. The inactivity ratio in Warframe is high. When you invite people to a clan, you can't force them to stay on. They'll always be playing other games, and they're not really dedicated. What's this? What is this? This is a bug? It's a goddamn bugs? Man, at the last minute, it got frozen.